What's going on, you guys? Mr. Money1235 here again, back for an album review. The biggest song of 2013, Robin Thicke, Blurred Lines. So Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke has been named the most successful song of 2013. It was the summer's anthem, kind of next to Get Lucky from Daft Punk in my opinion. And you would think that the album attached to this song would be pretty good, wouldn't you? Well, don't get your hopes up. Yes, there was a whole lot of things to like about this album. A whole lot of people already said that they really enjoyed this album. I'm not saying it. The first song on this album is obviously Blurred Lines, and this is a huge single. It's a really great song. I can definitely see why it has such the appeal that it does. I mean, it's catchy. The music is just infectious. I mean, like, it just gets stuck in your head. This is like one of those songs that could like go on for another like 3 minutes after it's over, and people would still be listening to it and still be loving it. I mean, it's just really good. But honestly, the rest of this album has no reflection on the single. The rest of this album is very generic pop music, in my opinion. I'm hearing a whole lot of influences coming from that Justin Timberlake album on this thing. There's a whole lot of things in this album that really remind me of that album, musically anyway. Like some of the melodies that he uses remind me a whole lot of JT's work. I mean, this is not a bad thing. That's fine. I mean, you know, I get it. I mean, Justin Timberlake, like, I will say right now, the 2020 Experience is way better than this album, and I didn't even like every single song on the 2020 Experience, but it feels so much more thought out than Blurred Lines. I mean, Blurred Lines seems like something he just threw together to put out the song. I mean, there are some parts of this album that I do enjoy. The third song on this album, Ooh La La, I was really enjoying it for a little while, but the melody seems to repeat a whole lot. I mean, like, it just gets to a point of where you just want to skip it to hear something different. That's a problem I have with a whole lot of this album, a whole lot of repeating lines throughout the entire song. And music like this, I expect something to come out of nowhere and kind of surprise me. But I mean, like, when you have something that just repeats for this long and is not really that memorable to begin with, it becomes just really forgettable. To me, anyway. The song Give It To You featuring Kendrick Lamar I thought was pretty good. I really like the heavy electronics that are used on this song. And I really like Kendrick's rap vocal on here too. I mean, I think it fits the song pretty well. I mean, like, I'm not going crazy over it, but this is definitely another song that I think is pretty good from this album. I also really enjoyed the last 3 songs on this album. For the Rest of My Life, Top of the World, and The Good Life. For the Rest of My Life is a really slow, romantic, sexy ballad that I think moves along pretty well. I mean, it sounds pretty generic though. You've heard artists do this type of song before, if you listen to this type of music. Top of the World is alright. It has a whole lot of the same things going on in it as the rest of this album does. I mean, like, it doesn't really change gears up that much, but it's a little bit more of a faster moving track that I really like. And The Good Life, the very last song in this album, has a really cool, like, 50s doo-wop feel to it right there at the very end, which I'm kind of liking. So, all in all, if you're gonna get this album or Justin Timberlake's 2020 Experience, I would definitely go with the 2020 Experience. It's more of a complete package, and the songs don't seem as generic, and they seem a little bit more thought out, and they're a little bit more memorable. There's just not many songs on Blurred Lines that make me want to return to this album, honestly. I mean, like, I think if you just stick with the single, you'd be perfectly fine. I mean, like, you can just tell. This album just seems like it was just rushed together to put out the biggest hit of the summer. I mean, I don't know. The other songs that accompany this, I mean, I wasn't asking for an entire album that sound like Blurred Lines, okay? Do not get me wrong. I was not expecting an entire album to have that same sound. But, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really enjoying it that much. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. My opinion, obviously, I'm still going to get hate for it. But, I mean, that's just how I feel. Give it a listen, see what you think about it. Mr. Money1235, I'll see you guys later.